Hello, my name is Michael Riley. I been spending about 5 hours. My background is electrical engineering and computer emphasis. Back in the day, where the computers were size of buildings, now they're in a pinpoint of the end of a needle, or a pen or whatever, pencil lead. Even smaller than that. I've been wanting to advertise on some different places, so I keep hearing about OfferUp, and that's what this is about. My experience with OfferUp. Hopefully, it's going to change. If not, I have to walk away. But I've spent about 5 or 6 hours here the last 2 days, on and off, trying to first of all talking to customer service to get set up. Nice girl named Kaylin. Account executive, I guess is her title, and very patient, very unusual these days. Very patient and friendly and nice and informative. She seems to know what she's doing. And once again, that's very unusual to find these days. And I shared that with her because it's nice to hear that on the other side, because we all run into that garbage anymore where it's just a nightmare. But so OfferUp is if you're not familiar with it, most people are that are younger anyways. It's kind of like an eBay, but it's kind of, I'm not even compare it to the other one. I'm not even going to say the name of it. The one that's around your neighborhood type. I'm not going to say the name because I can't stand those people. You say anything on that site, the neighborhood site, I'm just going to call it that. They ban you. I mean, they're San Francisco based. It's the same thing as when Twitter was owned by the other jerk, Jack. They control everything you say. If they don't like what you say, they ban you. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Anyway, so back to OfferUp. I'm selling parts, and I want some other avenues to sell the parts online. I'm fed up with eBay. eBay's stolen $10,000 from me. I had to confront the CEO on LinkedIn in front of the world and post up proof of them stealing $10,000. So finally, I had an executive get a hold of me, called me, and he admitted that they were in the wrong. He refunded me $744. And I protested. No, that's not all you owe me. And I gave him proof of it. He just disappeared. So I got to sue him. This is the way eBay works. So I'm fed up with it. eBay. Anybody's dealt with them, I've been dealing with for 24 years selling. They're never there. They get the calls all go to the Philippines. Anytime you contact them, you're dealing with people that can't even speak English or understand English. They speak a little bit of English. You can't understand them when they talk. It sounds like they understand it, but they don't understand what you're saying. They ask you 4 or 5 or 6 times the same thing. You just explained it 5 times. They don't understand. It's terrible. And the people are just livid. So, and the fees, and now they're forcing you to do these promotional things, so you do, otherwise you don't show up in the search. You show up way down the page. And I've been on there forever. And I'm showing up down the page and I'm like, where's my sales? It's unbelievable. And they're just taking they're suggesting 9, 10, 12% more of your earnings. They're already stealing like 15%. So they're like wanting to take about a quarter of your earnings. It's insane. And they're forcing you to do it or nobody can find you. This is a new thing that just started lately. So I started looking for other avenues to sell, and I'm not going to say what all of them are because if I've got competition that watches it, that's what I got to worry about. I got people on eBay that are taking all my products and starting to sell all my products. I mean, here I've been doing it for forever, and my business is going down. They're undercutting me. It's just, it's competition. I understand that. But when you start stealing people's stuff, and then eBay screwing you over, it really gets aggravating. So here I've been aggravated the last 2 days with OfferUp. OfferUp is a platform that you can, younger people are putting, shoes on there, and it's the way it started out for local sales. Kind of geared towards local, but you can also ship nationwide. So, it's not that difficult. And I've been doing web development myself. I have my own web server. I've been doing web development. Everything you see on the web, I create. And I've been creating since like 1996. The beginning of the web. I do all the back end and all the coding and all that stuff. So I'm talking to her about different programs, and I'm trying to keep the cost down to start it out, because I don't want to jump into something if it's, it's not what I need, and it's not going to work like I want it to work. It's pretty straightforward. You post something, you put a description in, it's put a price. There's got to be a purchase functionality and all that. We come to, she's talking about these business programs, and they always do that. They only upsell you up to the highest amount. Back when Kudzu was around and Service Magic, Kudzu was doing the same thing. They didn't last very long. Charging outrageous amounts for advertising. So they have like 3 programs of the business programs. I just moved back to Arizona, so my license, didn't get it registered yet, business license, and I did just yesterday, but when I was talking to her, I hadn't, and I said, well, let's not worry about that then, let's just do it, where I don't need the license because I don't have it registered just yet. I'm going to do it in the next couple of days. And so she said, I told her, I said, I need to be able to put my whole description in, especially the part number, because everything goes by part number. Parts, anybody orders a part knows that. Description doesn't do you any good. If it's a gasket, you got to know what brand it is. You put the brand down, but then there's thousands and thousands, probably 10,000 or more gaskets for one brand for refrigerators. Different model numbers, different part numbers, thousands and thousands of them. So you got to have a part number, just like car parts. Anybody buys car part, AutoZone or whatever, they all go by part number. They don't go by the description, because there's millions of parts with the same description. So I'm making this point to her. I said it's absolutely necessary. So, and she's a smart person, but I think there was some confusion because, I said the first, when I signed up, it won't allow me to use part numbers, the free platform. And she said, yeah, you have to go up to, and that's when we started talking about the business ones, and then we decided, and then she said, well, there's where you don't have to use your business license, there's a pro package. And I said, okay, well, whatever works, you know all the packages. Pro package is $250. The business one with a business license, where you don't have to worry about anything, and you can put your contact phone number, your address, everything in there. With the business license, is $300. The pro one's $250. $50 less. So I was like, okay, and it's going to do everything I need to do. So we got signed up. She got me set up. And I'm not blaming this on her. It was a misunderstanding and she forgot the fact that I said it absolutely has to. I know she did. Because she got me, she even suggested the pro package. But you can't, it doesn't allow phone numbers either. And my part numbers are 7 digits. Well, phone numbers are 9 digits. You have to put the area code in. if you put a phone number in, and they're out, everybody's using cell phones these days, and they're moving to different states, and they're using cell phones that are out of state. Everybody knows that because they get a call and they're like, "What's that area code?" It's somebody who moved, and they carried the number with them, and everybody does that. And I do it with mine when I moved from California back here. I haven't got the Arizona area codes yet. I will eventually, but especially with business. But so there's 7 digits. It doesn't do you any good on a phone number unless there is an actual local number that is that number, but it's probably not. So I go to put a thing in, and I'm like, oh crap, it's rejecting it, and it's truncating and extrapolating, extracting the number and replacing it with no contact info allowed in replace of it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You just charged my credit card for this program, this package. You've suggested the pro package. And I told you absolutely I need to have. So I don't know where the lack of communication happened there. So last night, I mean, this is after, like, I'm trying to manipulate, because I'm a programmer. Usually you can fool these programs by using dashes, whatever. Well, I can put in dashes, hyphens in between the numbers, but that doesn't do me any good because their search script is so tight that it has to be absolutely number. Nothing in between, no spaces, anything. So even, you know, the numbers with spaces in between won't come up in the search. That's how tight the search is. And if it's 7 numbers, if you put 2 numbers ahead of it and 2 after it, it's end up with 11 numbers. It pulls out the 7 digits in the middle. You know, they get it really tight too. And the only purpose for the no phone number is so they can bump you up to the business program and get $50 more from you. That's the only purpose for it. If you think about it, they have to contact you about what you're selling. They're going to contact you anyways. So why not make it more user-friendly and allow somebody to put a contact number in there? I mean, I don't get this mentality, except it's all about making more money and making it impossible for people that sell parts or things with identifying numbers to sell on their platform. Well, they're going to lose millions because you got car, you got medical, you've got everything that makes a part has a part number. And there's billions of parts that they're restricting from being able to sell on their platform, unless you go to the 300 and plus business with the license program. There's just no sense in that. So you're just restricting yourself from making the money that you could make, and forcing people to spend more money. And you know, a lot of people that's where the line's drawn. They might be able to afford $250, but they're not going to go to $300, and plus 300 plus. So here I am this morning again saying I'm putting in different ways of writing this because I gotta get this recognized, but it won't come up in the search, or it's rejecting it as written. So here I am again, spending a couple more hours trying to figure out why my listings that I put in are not coming up, even in my listings, where it gives the list of how many things that I've listed. Now it's not coming up with any of them at all. It's like, what is going on here? And the strange thing is, on one screen, on one screen, it's coming up with my listing. Here it is. But when I go and search for my listings, there's no listings. This is amateur. And I know what's causing it because I'm a programmer. I do these websites. No listings. Create new listings, and it's got a place where you, I guess they have to default it to this incomplete because they'll put a template in there because that's amateur too. They should be able to hit create another listing, but they had to put this fake one in here as a placeholder. That's amateur too. That shows whoever programmed and did the IT on this is just an amateur. Doesn't know what they're doing. Because you shouldn't have to put a placeholder in here. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, yeah. So here it is. Where and if I go and hit on edit, edit items and promotions, manager items and promotion in the business portal. So it's going to go to the business portal. But guess what? That listing you just saw, there's no listings listed. This is amateur, I swear to God. Their database is not, what's happening is, I think, is because I had 2 listings in here, now there's no listings. And I did an edit on them, on each one of them. And when I edited it, when it rewrote the database, it won't show up after that. So the variables that are being rewritten, they're either not overwriting the old variables, position, wherever, whatever. But I don't know where the fault is because I'd have to go into the database. And I can't do that, of course. But I can see from the back end if I bring up the code, I should be able to see. No, they've got the code hidden. No, they don't. It's just all up on one line. It makes it almost hidden. But if you go in here, you see that there's current these current ID 12 and all those variables. They're not being overwritten when they do the edit. So the database is not being rewritten properly. So when it goes to find that database item, it's not coming up with anything. So I think the very first listing, if I put one listing in, I never edit it to stay away from that failure of their database, that it will come up in the search engines. But the numbers, with the part numbers, I still can't put in. So I emailed her, and I emailed it a couple times, and I hate to do this because I become like a weirdo type thing, and I hate that. But the thing is that I'm struggling right now with my health, and I mean I had this last 5 years I had no blood in my legs. They had put arteries across my waist, and so I'd have blood in my legs, and they didn't cut my legs off. No lie. I had a heart attack 3 years ago. Had stents put in my heart. I had double bypass open heart surgery 2 years ago. I couldn't walk. I mean, even after the heart surgery the first time and everything else, that heart surgeon screwed it up. So they had to redo it, and they did double bypass. I had sepsis right after that. Almost died. I had a brain bleed from a personal injury from a property that I moved into, and there was debris everywhere, and it was negligence. In fact, I just won that lawsuit. Took like 4 years. I mean, I've been struggling really bad, and I lost my career because of my brain bleed. So I lost $175,000 plus a year. I can't do my business anymore, which is it's horrible. That's what I want to do. So it's just too dangerous to do it. If it starts bleeding again, it could kill me, and I don't want that to happen. So I've been selling the parts, and I've been doing it for probably about 15 years now, on eBay and different places, and this is another place that I wanted to be able to use. But what a nightmare. I mean, it's about 6 hours now messing with this, trying to get the... Now the listing won't even come up if I edit it. So there's a database rewrite error. It's not rewriting it to the database properly. And it's not being found. And very likely it's messing with the listing ID. It's like you'd have one, maybe numbered 1 through 10 if you had 10 listings. So, my ID for my user would be one number that's in the database, and then the listing for the item number 5 or number, whatever listing it is that I have, would be another variable identifier in the database. So one of those variables, or more than one, are screwing up when they're rewriting. And then when it goes to find that in my listings with my variables, I can't find it. It's not coming up with any of them, so it's very likely it's in my personal ID, my account ID, that's being rewritten wrong or something, because it's not bringing up any of them. So I wrote her a couple of emails, and I tried to explain, look, this is really important, and I don't want to be a jerk when I'm talking to her, because she's been very nice. This isn't really her fault. I kind of fault her for telling me about the pro package when I made it really, really clear that I got to be able to put part numbers in, or this doesn't do me any good to have this program. And I said it that way. And then she suggests the pro package, but then she forgot apparently about how important those part numbers were. And this pro package doesn't allow it either to put part numbers in. It's just insane. So when I emailed her, I said, is it possible that these IT guys can kind of lighten up with this and talk to maybe management or something and say, look, you're missing out on the opportunity of all these parts people. And $250, you're still making a ton of money. It's $50 away from the other package, where you can use all this whatever. I mean, why can't you make it so that we can do it too? But they don't want this package to be able to put their phone numbers in. I said, but it's not a phone number. It's a part number. And I put part number and then the number. But they're using, quote, AI. And AI is nothing. It's just a search algorithm. And that's all it is. Everybody's calling AI like it's some artificial intelligence. It's not. It's the same thing we've been using forever. And it's not reliable. Good example right here. It's searching for numbers that are consecutive, at least 7. And if it finds them, it's rewriting it with, you can't put contact numbers in, and tagging it. If it was really AI, really smart, it's not smart. And I even told her that. I said, that's AI. It doesn't know what it's doing. So I talked to her on the phone yesterday about it because I was getting kind of irritated. This is ridiculous. Is there some way around this? So when I emailed her at the end of the day yesterday, when I was fed up with this, I said, can you please try to get a hold of somebody? Just make a suggestion that, look, we have to use part numbers. So lighten up with this, fix this. I mean, they can either go in there and manually override it, which every admin panel has. They've got an override feature. I'm positive of it. I've made the admin panels. You give it so many different things that an admin can do, like banning somebody or, that's how people are able to do that. When you do something on their site and you wonder how you got banned, they just ban your account in the admin panel. They can do it. Or they just change the designation identifier in the script to be 9+ or something. But maybe when it's tagging a phone number, it flags it, and the representative has to look at it, verify it's a phone number, and not do anything because it'll just stay the same, that it's rejected, or overwrite it because it says it's a part number, and then override and say it's okay, approved, and leave it alone. Don't change it. I mean, there's ways of doing this and resolving this. So after that, that's when I did my registration of my business. I was like, she's going to think I'm a weirdo, and I'm kind of pushing, and being a jerk. I don't want to think that. But I need to work. I need to get these things sold. This is critical for me. I got bills to pay. So, and when something doesn't work, and here I am running into, I can't even bring the listing up. It won't even come up. I mean, I might as well just quit until Monday, when I could talk to her. I needed to get these products in here and start getting sales because they sell like crazy. But I'm losing thousands of dollars here because their OfferUp doesn't work properly. This is not proper functionality. If you make an edit, and I've done these scripts before, and I've run into this problem. That's why I know what it is. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know what's causing it, but likely it is. It's probably in the account number, for one, is very likely that's what's not right, rewriting back to the data script, the database, probably, because when I hit my listings, it comes up and there's no listings, and there are listings. So it's going to my database, but it's not finding my listings. So why? Or did the rewrite, the edit, go somewhere else? And it deleted the listing and it went and identified it as some other database item. I don't know for sure. So this is it just sucks. And these people, you get these IT guys and girls that just think they're pros at this stuff, and they get this program working. App. I hate that when they change. They got to abbreviate everything anymore. But they did it really when they started with the mobiles, the cell phones. They don't want to use programs anymore, so they use the word app. It's applications. It's the same thing. It's short for applications, programs. But they got to change all the words, It's just like a website. Website and the app for the phone are the same thing. They're the same thing. It's just a different format. It's a smaller format to fit the phone display, so that it doesn't go off to the right and left and scroll too much. Well, a lot of them scroll anyways anymore, especially if they have pictures like Instagram and all those. You got to scroll. But the width is, and that's easy to do. You just use the percentage and you don't. A lot of them use tables basically and use the percentage, so it's 100% of the screen of the display, and then it just brings it in automatically. This has been a nightmare, and now I sent her another email last night, and I said, disregard my other emails. I'm really sorry, but I just got my license all registered and everything, so let's just jump up to the next level so this headache is over with. And now I got to pay another $50, $300 a month, because they can't have a program. Basically, and I told her also, I said, OfferUp's violating my agreement. The agreement is that I can post a description of my items that I'm selling. I can't, because the one critical factor of my description is the part number, or nobody can find it. If somebody comes to OfferUp and puts in the part number that they're looking for, because you do that on every website, you do it when you walk into a parts store, you give them the part number. That's how it's identified. So if they go in there, they're just going to leave OfferUp because they don't find the part number. And I'm not going to have any sales. So it's critical. So they're violating my agreement that I made with them. And that's what I made a point to them too. You're violating my agreement. You're not allowing me to put in the proper description of my item. You know, I mean, this is ridiculous. And the reason I said that was because if they try to force the issue of this agreement I made, forget you. I'm not paying $250 for something that doesn't work. It ain't happening. You breached my agreement. I can't put in a proper description. And I'm not violating the terms of use because it's not a phone number or contact information. So I'm not doing anything wrong. You guys are. You violated your own agreement. It's fact. So, and I don't want to have to try to force and make that point, but it's a fact. It's a winnable fact in court. I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm paying for something that doesn't work. Because the IT guys, the management is too worried about the almighty dollar of getting them to pay $300 or more. Don't put the contact information. Whoever's buying it's got to contact you anyways. Why don't you make it more friendly? What is the problem there? If they don't want them to put addresses in, but even that, when somebody on the other programs like I have, if it's a local pickup, they have to contact you on the app website on OfferUp to find out where you're at, talk to you about how to pick it up, and find out your address. So they're going to have to get the contact information anyways. This makes no sense, OfferUp administration and CEO. No sense whatsoever, except to try to get more money to bully them into giving you more money for something they should have had contact information anyways. eBay just found that out, that they were forced by the government to allow contact information. You guys are going to find this out pretty quick too. You can't keep a buyer from contact information. You can't. It's against the law. eBay just found it out. Yeah, they've been doing that for so many years. Well, we couldn't even talk to the customers. Well, you guys are going to find it out too. You can't do this to try to make more money, okay? It's against the law. Go on eBay and find out. They got it right at the top of every one of those. It's a new law that they're being forced to comply with, and you guys will be too. In fact, you know, people need to let the government know that you're violating that. All I want to do is be able to do what I need to do. Put my part number in and post my items. That's it. So I'm hoping OfferUp will come around. Right now, they're kind of a mess. It appears that you can't even edit and have it show up after you edit it. It disappears. So, but Kaylin has been very nice. I feel very bad that I wrote her 2 long emails addressing this issue, and she was off work yesterday. And they assigned me to somebody else after they got my account up. And Kaylin's the one that set it all up and everything. So then if I went and dealt with the new person would be, you talk to her, and I have no idea what you're talking. So that's why I wrote to Kaylin. And if you see this, that's why I wrote to you. And I even wrote that in the email to you, that if I get a hold of that other person, they're not going to know what I'm talking about, because we're the ones that worked this out, and this is where we're at. So hopefully you can help me. Since you're an account executive and they're just account person, I think there's, a difference there. She doesn't have the title you do. Executive usually means you're up higher. So that's why I went to you. Hopefully you can resolve this when you get back to work. I'm hoping that they can get this fixed. so that I can use this. I've got 100 to 200 items, about 150 items, probably up to 200, that I'd like to get posted and start making some sales. But I can't do crap right now. And she just charged me $50 for the last couple days of April. I can't do anything. So I want my money back for that. That's for sure. Absolutely. I'm going to be demanding my money back for that $50 because it doesn't work. Once you get it working, charge me. But I'm not paying for something that doesn't work. That's for sure, too. So anybody else that's watching this, don't be afraid to say something, especially younger people. Sometimes you're afraid to say anything you don't know. You have the rights for things to work properly. You have that right. And if you're not sure about something, go search it online. I don't use Google, so I wouldn't say Google it. I wish people would stop saying that. I wish people would stop supporting Google and stop buying things from Google. Just making them bigger and bigger. All they're doing is intruding on everything in our life. You know, you go and open something up, and it's like, oh my God, I went and looked at that, and now it's popping up everywhere. That's Google, because they know everything we're doing. I have everything Google shut off. Everything, on my phone, my computer, everything. These people are jerks. Stay away from, I use Yahoo and other search engines. I don't use Google. That's why I didn't say it. So, but you can find anything you want. Just be careful about whether it's true or not. Because as you know, not everything you read online is true. People, it's like intentionally put things on there that are totally wrong. It's just ridiculous. So, this was too long, but if you're having problems with OfferUp, speak out about it. These people, these admin, the CEO needs to wake up. You don't sit here and charge like me, charging me $50 for a couple days, and the damn thing doesn't even work. I'm just being ripped off at this point, and I'm not gonna tolerate that. And I will speak up, but do it nicely. Don't yell and scream at him. Don't be, just do it in a gentle, normal tone. I'm strong in this video. I would be not so strong when I'm talking to him, and just nice, but to the point. Tell the facts. But be nice. It always gets something better in return when you're nice with somebody, even if there's a big problem. They want to help you out more, okay? This going out of control, like in restaurants and stuff that people are doing, the younger crowd, stop it. You don't get anything except jail time for that. It's ridiculous. That's not how you deal with stuff. Be civil with people. And I know. And that's why I'm so strong in the way I'm talking on this video. I know there's people that will not help you. But you chain of command. You just go up higher and higher. Like I had to go to the CEO, Jamie Iannone, on LinkedIn. I confronted him. The whole world was watching. It was amazing. It was really amazing because I kept seeing people looking at my profile from all over the world. And it's never happened to me that they've done that. Because they wanted to know who I was, that I'm jumping all over the CEO of eBay. And I put proof up there and accusing him of things and justifiably accusing him of things. And when he had the account executive, he wouldn't respond to me. He read it, but he wouldn't respond to me. He didn't want to do that online. But he had the account executive at executive department, Jordan Trent, jerk, get a hold of me. And it just ripped me off. Gave me $745, and then just disappeared. But admitted everything, that it was their fault. Corrected everything, but only gave me $744 out of $10,400 and some dollars that they stole from me. So anyways, you got to speak up, but you got to have facts. Don't make allegations that aren't true. You can get sued. That's what defamation's called. If it's not true, they can sue you. Just speak the facts. like I've done, and try to work with them. That's the best way to deal with things. If you don't get the right number of French fries at McDonald's, don't attack the person over the counter. Why would you count your French fries anyways, idiot? This is just the unstableness of so many these days. And I think they're out there getting, this is just unbelievable that we've gone this far. They're out there getting high all day long. And I'm going to say it. I'm fed up with this garbage. Driving around higher than kite because it's legal. It shouldn't be legal, and it's not legal federally. It's not legal federally. Now, I think Trump should enforce that. We got kids that are just high all day, that's just ruining their lives. We got adults that are that way now because it's so easily available to everybody. They're driving around stoned out of their brains, killing people on the roads. Yes, it debilitates you. It alters your freaking mind. Wake up. So, anyways, this is what's happening. Don't be like that when you respond to people. You can be really passionate about something, but be decent at the same time. Okay? All right, I got to get going. I wanted people to share also, if you would, what your experience is, if you had experience with OfferUp, and speak up to OfferUp when there's problems, because we got to get, this is ridiculous. You don't put a program up until it's live, until it's working properly. And this is not working properly. So, all right. Once again, it's Mike O'Reilly. Take care. Thank you. Bye.